I'm Alan Weiss, and this is the writing on the wall. Welcome to Writing on the Wall. False accolades. You know, when somebody says to me or puts on a resume or in their biographical sketch, I'm in Who's Who, I say, oh, they paid money to get in there because Who's Who is a scam. I mean, there's probably a great Who's Who somewhere in the sky that puts in people like, I don't know, Abraham Lincoln. However, most Who's Who books are just there to sell books. They put you in, play on your vanity, they sell you a book. It's a scam. I got the great dog Trotsky once in the Who's Who book of dogs. Now, they had dogs from Westminster. It was supposed to be purebreds. You know, Trotsky was, let's say, a crossbreed. My uncle was in Florida where he lived, bringing his cat to the vet. He was in the waiting room, picked up a book, Who's Who of Dogs. Looking through it, and he sees Trotsky. He said, how did you do that? I said, I paid them $65. I got Koufax almost into the Who's Who book of real people. We were right down to the line until they tried to talk to him personally on the phone. I guess that was their quality control. So we find these false accolades that people resort to. Here in Rhode Island, there's the Best of Rhode Island, done by Rhode Island Magazine, a monthly magazine. Quite a slick, well-done magazine. But the Best of Rhode Island once a year precludes no one. The best latte south of Providence. The finest pepperoni pizza on the north side of Providence. Everybody gets an accolade for something, and they get a plaque they can hang on the wall. Of course, they pay for the plaque, and then they're encouraged to take out advertising in the magazine. 100 pages of advertising for the best of. Everybody's the best of if you arrange it the right way. Why do people put MBA after their name when they're doing something that has nothing to do with finance? It doesn't matter. What drives me absolutely crazy is when people put MA after their name, Master of Arts. Come on, that's desperate. The National Speakers Association, which is big on initials, I'll get to that in a minute. I saw these people, all these people listed with M.A. after their name. I figured they were all from Massachusetts. There must be a lot of speakers in Massachusetts. No, Master of Arts. Who lists M.A. after their name? For that matter, if you're writing a letter to the editor of the Wall Street Journal about, I don't know, international politics, climate warming, why do you put M.D. after your name? I mean, if you're a dermatologist, what difference does that make? I don't get this obsession with initials to try to validate yourself. Now, here's the example I was talking about. Count them. If I wanted to put the initials I've earned after my name, it would be PhD, CMC, FCMC, CSP, CPAE. Folks, that's 17 if you were counting along with me. And if you take my 17 initials and add $2, I can get on a bus. That's what they're about. When I wrote a piece about this on Twitter in 70 or 80 characters, I outraged the Twitter initial people. People stopped following me, and they wrote me letters why with their name and all their initials. Recently, someone gets a hold of me and says, we want to name your blog, contrarianconsulting.com, as one of the top 20 consulting blogs in the world. I said, really? They said, yeah, one of the top 20. I said, who are you? I never heard of you. They said, well, you know, we're setting this up. We're expert in these things. I said, well, all right. Let me see the other 19 you're considering. Sure enough, one of them was a guy in Connecticut, Pond Scum, who rips me off. And they were going to put his blog up there with mine. I said, forget about it. The real issue here is self-validation, isn't it? I mean, don't you think? Do you need a certification? Do you need initials to be good at what you do to help others? You know, there's this great Roman phrase, who guards the guardians? Who are the custodians of the custodians? And that led me to what I ask in a lot of my writing today. Who certifies the certifiers? You need a coaching certificate? You need coaching initials after your name to make you valid? I've got news for you. Read my book, $1 Million Coaching. You don't get initials, but I point out in there that if you've ever asked someone how they need help, what they'd like to improve, and you've given them advice and they've used it and improved, guess what? You're a coach. Put AW after your name. If your behavior doesn't demonstrate expertise, initials aren't going to. Nobody ever said, He's a lousy consultant, but man, does he have initials. Nobody cares. I'll tell you something else about Accolades. Saying good dog is completely unnecessary. The dog doesn't care. The dog just thinks you like saying it.